So after taking a very long hiatus from YouTube, I am back, and we are in a new place as well too. As you can see, I have my 75 and my 90-gallon tanks right behind me, and with this move we've also had some problems where I've had issues with the 75-gallon Paludarium. So if you stay tuned, we're going to see if we can fix it. My name is Nick Pulaski. Growing up, I have always had a passion for wildlife, and with that passion, along with my passion of filmmaking, I get taken on some amazing adventures creating wildlife content, getting up close with a variety of incredible animals. So come follow along as I pursue my goals of educating, inspiring, exploring, and conserving wildlife, all while having fun, seeing the beauty in our natural world. So welcome back. I am so happy to have you guys here, and it has definitely been quite a journey these past couple of months for me. As you can see, we're in a brand new place, so that's really exciting. So a lot of really cool things are down the pipe. I mean, mostly all good things have happened. I'm very sorry that I haven't kept you guys informed. I've kind of stepped away from social media for a while and kind of just been with my animals, kind of dealing with everything that I've needed to do. Nothing like personally like that was terrible or anything like that. It's more so just stepping away from like social media and everything like that and just kind of refocusing, retooling. So we're back on track, and I've been missing to do this for a very long time, and I've been so excited to get back on the front of the camera with you guys. So we're back, and we're going to be kicking it off in this brand new place, doing some really cool stuff. I'm so excited to show you guys, but this is going to be the first segment I'm going to show you guys in this new place, is with these two tanks right here. Now, we're not going to be showcasing too much right here with this 90-gallon. As you can see, it kind of looks kind of dumpy. It's just kind of being used right now to grow out some of my vivarium plants right now, so we're not going to really touch or worry about that right now. More so, the focus of this video is going to be on this tank right here, the 75-gallon Paludarium, as you know. Looking really good. It's got all the plants still in here, growing like crazy in here, let me tell you. But the issue is that when we move this tank, there is a valve in this corner right here. It's an L-bracket valve, and what it does is it caps the water level right about here normally. And normally I was just like, all right, we're gonna fill this thing up with water and we're gonna see where it goes from there. It was capping about right here, so we were losing about 1.5 inches worth of water. And I was like, that seems kind of weird. I don't know why that's happening. There was no leaks, nothing, so I couldn't figure out where the source of the problem was. Thankfully, there wasn't any leaks. Thankfully, there wasn't any cracks. Otherwise, I would have been devastated. But what has actually been going on is the plumbing shifted. So that L tube that I had actually that was pulling the water and capping the water up here, it actually twisted. So it was bringing the water and capping out all the way down here. And that situation is probably second place to a crack or some sort of leak, because this thing, when I built it about 5, almost 6 years ago, I wasn't putting into account like maintenance to that kind of stuff. I figured, oh, I don't really have to worry about that because I don't think that's ever going to move. Turns out that proved me wrong. So what we're going to have to do today is we're going to have to figure out a way to get back there and fix that bracket. It's hard to see, I can't really show what it looks like, but it's black, it's back there, it's a black plumbing tube. So what I really have to do, thankfully it doesn't seem like it should be too difficult to like rescape or anything like that either too, because it's just rocks down here. Haven't really done anything. These plants just kind of move out of the way. I'll have to move these rocks out of the way. The netting I will just pull up, trying to get the flexibility and moving my hand just right so I can get back there and twist it. Now it's kind of a guessing game at that point because I don't necessarily know how far I have to twist it. I have to like relook at it and just kind of like guess mentally when I'm twisting it, and then just kind of feel the best I can, because I won't have that much of a grip, let alone ability to feel around and kind of get a good indication of what's going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how that works, and then really that should be the only issue to my problems. But I really need to get this going because, as you can see, glass hasn't been kept up with. I haven't really been doing much with this ever since I shut it off to move it. Put just enough water in here to make this work. Been spraying down these plants and making sure these all stay lush, because I would hate for all this to die again. I mean, it's looking so good. Definitely has to be pruned when I'm done with this, and then I'll probably just rescape some of the saplings and put those back in there. But it's looking great, and I'm really excited to show this piece in this room. It's going to be a nice showpiece along with this tank. By the way, leave in the comments below, what do you think I should do with this? Should I make this an aquarium, or should I make this like some sort of thing like this where it's a Paludarium / vivarium setup? I want to know your guys' opinion on that. I don't know necessarily where I'm leaning. It's kind of just switching day to day at this point. So if you guys have a particular way or whatever you want to see from this, let me know, because I definitely want your input on that as well. like I said, we'll focus on that another day. This is the big thing right here. Another big thing that we updated was the filtration on this guy. Right down here as well, we also built a brand new stand for this guy. I actually showed you in a prior video on how I built this stand. I will leave links to that video as well too if you want to see. These stands are quick to build. I can whip up like 3 of these, and I actually did whip up 3 of these super quick within probably about an hour and a half, minus like the painting aspect of it, but it doesn't take any time whatsoever, and it holds a whole bunch of weight for very little to no cost. But yeah, we have a 40-gallon sump down below, so no chance of this thing ever leaking. Very easy to access and maintain with a 40-gallon. I think it's just the safest, easiest route to go. Pet stores by me, they're doing $ per gallon sales, so thank God for that, because 40 gallons otherwise can be expensive. Got a brand new well-sealed sump filter that's going to be the 40-gallon breeder. So we're going to be dealing with that as well too. But yeah, not too much else. I think I'm just kind of delaying this process because I'm like, I dread this. Any maintenance with this that I have to do like that, I mean, it's going to suck. So there's only like a couple particular ways I have to go about and like move around in there. So I think we just got to dab into it and see what we can do. So fingers crossed we can get this water level back up, if not close to the water line that it was at before. Because I hate seeing it looking like this. I want to see it running. I want to see it moving. It's a lot of fun. Alright, so we're going to check it out here. Let's see what we can see. Yep, so I'm looking at it. It's tilted a little bit this way, so it's tilted more towards the left. Doesn't look like it's too like tilted, but I mean it's just enough where it's causing that issue. So I definitely need to get back there and see what I can do. So it's right in between those 2 brackets. So what I'm holding it up with is PVC pipe. This main part right here, so the foundation is built on top of these PVC pipes that I cut. So if I can just squeeze my hand in between there and then just kind of push it, hopefully I can do that. Like I said, it's not like a flexible arm where you can just kind of bend at your own will. You got bone and a whole bunch of fun stuff in there. So we got to figure this out. So this is not going to be fun, but having that 2x4 out of the way makes all the difference. I'm just going to move this. Feel how far the netting goes. There's some dirt in here. It's planted. It was planted at the beginning. I didn't really necessarily move all the dirt. So that's what all that black stuff is dirt, because this was a dirted aquarium at one time. And definitely, if you ever make one of these tanks, make it so it's accessible to get any of your plumbing pieces. Because trust me, it makes all the difference. So you don't have to do this. But like I said, this was built 5 years ago, and I wasn't thinking that. Now, this is about only amount of room I can get. I need to like dive deeper in here. So this is gonna be difficult. We're gonna see what we can do. This is a challenge. This is gonna be a problem because I can only bend so far in there and go so far in. So I either need like a tool or something, because otherwise this is not going to work. I'm gonna try it one more time. There's no way. Oh, I'm 4 inches off. This is not ideal, I will tell you that. This is a mess. Move that over here. So close. Now there is a border right here that I made. I don't know how deep it is though. I blocked this off so nothing can get back here. There's still nothing living in here. I know this isn't the most pleasant view to see, but we gotta get in here. Okay, this may work. If I can see it, I will bring you guys up here so you can see too. Where? Yes, okay. This is perfect actually. Wow. Okay, so apparently what happened is this first plan went wrong. I mean, I thought I could work it. Turns out I didn't have to do this at all, which sucks because I just moved all that rock, but I can move it all back. It's okay. What we can do now is I have a tool that I can fit back there and I can just turn it. So I will show you guys right now. Let me just take this guy off. What I am dealing with in terms of an issue. All right. So, as you can see, there's a border right here. super hard to see down there. Don't know if I'm doing it justice. Yes, okay, so you can kind of see straight down there, there is a circle. That circle is tilted, that's where it's plumbing out. That's the outflow right there. So that right there is what's causing these problems. So what I have to do is turn it to the right, and we should be good. So all this foam on here, this is actually from when I built this the first time. So I actually used this tool, this little extending tool, grip extending tool, to work on this tank. So I believe I used this to turn this once. So see if we can do it again. Very hard angle to see it. Very hard angle to move at. Literally balancing on one foot here. This is very dangerous. Don't try this at home. Oh wow. Okay. Moved it. Got blinded there. Let's see. A little bit better. Just a little bit more. Alright. I think we have success now. I got it exactly where I needed to be. I'm not going to seal that up just yet, just in case I have to go back in there. Kind of be dumb to do that. I will rescape this really quick, because with more water in there, it'll make more of a mess. So let's rescape this really quick. But yes, so we had huge success with that. That was great. Was dreaded more than I thought, because I thought the process was going to be a lot harder. But sometimes, I mean, this is a good learning lesson for anything. Sometimes you just gotta get in there and do it, and don't overthink it. Because sometimes once you get in there and you analyze it, you know what you're doing, you remember what you're doing. But I think we are at a good point right now. So I think the next steps that I have to do, before I get water going in here in the next couple minutes, but I do also have to make the filter work again. So I need to update this filter, because I also want to make it a little bit more silent. Before, this thing used to sound like a rushing waterfall. Even though it does have a waterfall, the waterfall doesn't make that much noise. The filter was making a whole bunch of noise, and I'm like, that's just not appealing. It is now in my living room, so I don't want to listen to this thing sounding like a huge waterfall while I'm watching TV as well too. That's just not ideal. It's going to be a distraction, so we're going to make it a little bit more silent and suppressed. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that. It's really easy, really cheap. Alright, so as you can see, it's kind of a jumbled mess down here. This is kind of being all used for storage right underneath the 90 gallon. As you can see, we have the pump, the intake pump, that is going to be bringing up the water with this black tube right here. That is going to be going to that waterfall over there. This right over here is going to be the outflow. So this is going to be where everything up where that valve was is going to be coming down. Right through here, this is going to be the outflow right here. So what I normally did was I had this tube right here, this PVC. There is filter floss in here that I keep changing out, and the water would normally just go straight down here. Now, there was normally a container right on top too, so it would gather any of the water as well too, so it wouldn't splash around or do anything. That container, it was just like a shoebox container, just a 6-quart tub. That container, I put a hole in the middle so it would fit right on top, but the hole was not snug. So I just kind of used my soldering iron and just kind of did a quick little hole. Didn't really put much thought into it. So water would leak around these edges, and that from the outflow, and that's what would cause that loud rushing water sound. Because what it would do is it was going majority into the PVC, but it was dripping on the sides. A lot, I would say dripping, but I mean it was leaking out on the sides. I mean you could hear it pretty well. Doesn't matter at the end of the day, it's all going inside the sump. This was the 20-gallon sump I was in before, that's why I'm pointing at this. But what the issue was is that I was making a lot of noise because I wasn't filling the water level all the way up. I was leaving about another 5 to 10 gallons of water inside this 20-gallon, so I was only filling it halfway. So I was making a lot of noise. It was annoying. So I'm going to do the same thing in here. We're not filling this up all the way. It'll probably be 20 gallons worth of water, have a buffer of 20 gallons worth of water up here too. This holds about 30 gallons worth of water, I would say, roughly, out of the 75. So what I'm going to do is have that 20-gallon buffer right here, and what we're going to do is make this suppressed. So right now, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over here, right inside here, ideally into place, and I can just move that as I wish. What am I going to do now though? I'm not going to be using that 6-quart tub anymore. I got a bucket. Not only did I get that, I found actually a more convenient bucket while I was looking for a bucket. It also has this right here. So this can actually come out and in. It's kind of like a drainage layer for a bucket. So this was like in the automotive section. I forget what store I bought this at, but it's a 4-gallon bucket. Gallon size doesn't really matter. What matters is it's a lip. So what it'll do is it'll go right here, ideally. I'm going to have some sort of thing mounted on top of it. And it will go and sit right here. The water will fit in there. And what I'm going to do, let me show you. Not only is there going to be a bucket, there's going to be a funnel. I also have other funnels too, just to figure out what size I want. Probably going to go another size up. But I'm going to use a funnel that's going to be carved at the bottom of this. It's going to lay flat so the water cannot leak out. If the water doesn't leak out, then that's great. All we have to do then is the funnel will fit right inside the hole, inside the PVC, and drain directly down into there. Kind of see where I'm going with this? So it's still easy to take this thing apart, but it's still easy to maintain as well too, and also easy to make silent. So really, you can buy this at the dollar store. You can buy this bucket, I mean, for the same thing around like $5 too. PVC, everything like that, pretty cheap. So we're gonna put, and the other nice thing too with this having a drainage thing is I can actually put other things of filtration in here. So I'm filtering the water even more now. So I'm not only having this filter floss right here, I will also be able to put all my filter pads in here and my charcoal, everything else in here too. So all the debris does not necessarily go into here. All I have to really worry about is the chamber of heating this guy. So the water stays good temperature up there, and I don't have to do anything else. So pretty easy, pretty simplistic to at least begin with. But I mean, for freshwater setups, I think this is a big thing to siphon out a whole bunch of the debris anyway, to keep filtering out your water and having a really nice setup at the same time. Voila! Gone. So, shut that off. I could clean that up more. I don't really need to worry about it, but we have a hole right there. And that hole, we'll keep that funnel right there, and that's how it's gonna be. I can see the camera right through that actually. So we are all set with that, and that's all I needed. I always use aquarium safe silicone as well too. So what normal silicone normally has, you have to make sure you don't get is something that's like a mold resistance kind of thing. With aquarium silicone, you want to make sure you don't have that in there, because better for vivariums too, because it's an added thing in there that could be toxic to your animals. So you want to make sure that you're not getting that into your water column, so it's not causing any issues for you or your animals. And a fun trick too is if you ever get silicone on you, or if you ever get silicone on something you don't want silicone on, all you have to do, 9 times out of 10 this works, is make sure that you let it dry. Silicone normally doesn't take that long to dry. Probably give it an hour or two to cure. Let it cure and then pick it up. You can just peel it right off, because if you peel it off when it's still wet and drying, that's when you're gonna have issues, because that's where it smears and gets everywhere, and you're gonna be doing more cleanup after the fact that it dries versus just dealing with a big lump all at once. When it dries and it's easier to take off, then it should just peel right off. This is actually rather low, that's why I'm like shaking while I'm doing this. This thing's super empty, but I had just enough, it looks like. Put that flat right on there. Super easy, super simple. That's all we had to do. All right, so gave it some time, let it cure, and we have perfectly these two together. So we got the hole at the bottom, like we said before. So that is all set and ready to go. Okay, so we have water going right now in this guy. Let me get over here so you guys can see it a little bit better. Not much to really see right now, but what's going on right now is I'm kind of doing two things at once here. So the simplest thing, I'm filling up the sump. So just filling up the sump with water. The other thing I'm doing, because I didn't do it earlier, and I mean, it's not like there's really anything in here or anything, but like I said, I checked. And you should do this with any aquarium, because I've actually worked in pet stores in the past, and they've actually come in off the truck without any silicone on the sides. So we've actually had to not use those or like sell those in the past because of that reason, because they came in with an issue like that. So obviously it's a simple fix for some, but like for just your normal everyday average Joe, they don't want to do that. So right now what I'm doing is I'm doing what you should be normally doing with any of your aquariums or anything that's going to be holding water. I'm making sure that the seal is intact. So I'm going to be checking and making sure all of this is good and it is running properly, and we're not having any leaks of any sort, because that would be terrible. I shut the water off immediately and then evaluate it. We're going to make sure that this is at the water level we need it to be at, and then we're going to, by that point, wherever it caps off, this is going to start flowing down. We're going to make sure this works properly too, as this funnel system should. I don't see where there'd be any issues like that. Should be silent as can be with that. I don't have any filter padding in there right now, so you may just hear the water going in there, but obviously that's going to get more and more silent. That's going to be the loudest you're ever going to hear it. Obviously you're seeing a whole bunch of the sediments and minerals just kind of caked down there right now, so you're not seeing really anything much. The river system just started going right over here too, so that's great. But yeah, like I said, I have to clean this glass. It looks really bad. Should have probably done this before I did this, but we're just gonna watch it fill right now and time lapse that. Okay, so we are capped. So as you can see, the water level is about where it was before, so that is perfect. So with that being said, the water level problem is fixed. We don't have to worry about that. As you can see, it's super humid in here because we do have also the lids going on right on top of there as well too. So everything is going well really there. Everything down below here, this is going to be the loudest that you're ever going to hear this thing. So as you can see, let's just listen. It's a little bit loud right now, so what you're hearing is there's no filter media, there's nothing in here right now, no padding, no nothing. So that water is just hitting directly into the bucket right now. So other than that though, this thing is completely silent. So it's suppressed down here, you're just hearing the motor running of this pump. That's not really anything. I mean, it sounds a little bit louder right now because we're down here, but from far away, if I'm just sitting on my couch or something like that, it's nothing. This is going to be the main thing right here, is if I can just get this thing silenced with all the filter media and everything like that, we are good to go. All right, just listen for a second. See, you don't really hear that water hitting the bucket anymore. So I did put all the filter media in there already, so we are all set and ready to go with that. It is super silent right now. I'm hearing a little bit of water drip from the bucket, but it's nothing compared to what I was hearing before. I mean, this is just a night and day difference. So this is not something that's a distraction whatsoever. It sounds perfectly normal. This looks amazing. I'm so excited, guys. Ever since I built this thing, it was a big, difficult project that it was just really frustrating to build. And I mean, just seeing it pay off and looking at how amazing this thing can actually be, I mean, it just makes it all the better. And I mean, it makes it truly worth it, going back 5 years on when I built this thing and finally seeing this thing not just sit there anymore like it did for years. It's truly something that's paying off. I know you can't really see right now, I didn't clean the glass. I'll do that in the next update for you guys. Like I said, with this guy right here, same thing. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this, honestly. I do have one more tank I wanted to show you guys. It's a weird size. I think it's like a 36-gallon tank. But I'm going to do that actually. I think it's going to be my brand new grow out tank for my plants. So I'm going to throw stuff, all the plants that are in here that are growing, I'm going to throw in there. The Philodendron and everything like that. Everything's going to go in there, and it's going to grow out. It's going to be a nice, cool, natural setup. That for sure is going to be an aquarium, but that leaves this thing empty. So I don't know if we're going to make it an aquarium or if we're going to make it another Viv or a Paludarium again. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys so much again for watching this video and for dealing with me being off for quite the hiatus, I must say. I know it's been quite a long time since I've posted. And I mean, on my social medias, on anything, quite honestly, because of this move and everything like that, I mean, it's been quite the process. Quite honestly, because of the move and everything, I mean, it's only been like a month and a half since I moved, but I mean, which seems like a long time, but I mean, just kind of getting back on my feet and getting everything back on track. I just wanted to make sure everything was sorted out, wanted to make sure everything was going properly, wanted to obviously make sure top priority that the animals were okay and everything like that as well too. They're doing great. We're going to be doing some really cool updating videos on that. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff going with that, so definitely stay tuned on that. Be sure to check out the videos to come, as well as check out my social media. I'll be posting some stuff there. I'll leave links down below for that as well. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. If you could do me a couple favors, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can always come to me for anything, or leave some comments or suggestions or questions down below. I always love reading those, and so do other people as well too. We're all trying to help each other here, so stay interactive and everything like that. I'm going to be back to posting videos as well too, so stay tuned for a lot of those. And until next time, I will see you guys soon.